All right, everybody, it's a broadcast of the Ebony Star Network this morning, sponsored by the E Nation. This morning, we're going to talk about the Hebrew Misraelites and their dangerous obsession with pornography and sexual perversion and the enslavement of women. These men are extremely dangerous. These aren't men of God. They use scripture to enslave black women for sexual perversion. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how they do these things and their tactics. It's coming up right now. Gangster talk. Drop it, Dane. All right. What's going on, everybody? It is the broadcast early edition of Gangster Talk, a rare broadcast. We usually don't have one this early, but since I have some time to burn, I decided to go live. You know how we do it. Sound check to get everything started. Shout out to everybody who's coming in, those who are in the clouds. We got a whopper for you today. We tend to ruffle some feathers early this morning. And we don't care how the hell those feathers retaliate because we got something for 'em. So before we get started, sound check, Dane, let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear.
All right, you're coming through loud and clear.
All right, without further ado, let's get it on. And those who come in afterwards will have to catch up. We're talking about the Hebrew Israelites this morning. Okay, the Hebrew Misraelites. And I feel that this is a topic that we have to touch on because these guys are becoming more and more dangerous towards black women and black children. And we have to start putting the spotlight on them because they are not only doing our people a disservice, they are an absolute danger. And I mean a danger and a threat to black women and black children. Many of these men are psychotic in nature. There's something either mentally wrong with them or emotionally wrong with them or both. A lot of these men are mentally unbalanced. are emotionally unstable. A lot of these guys are very socially awkward and don't know how to deal with women and are very angry and bitter with women and want to see a woman in one of the worst positions possible. Now, one of the ways that they accomplish this, understand something. I've said this before. Now, you're probably going to hear people come out with it acting as if they knew it all the time. But you see, a lot of people listen to my podcast and they cherry pick it and they don't want to give me any credit because I've been dubbed a fool and unintelligent and unarticulate. And people are finding out that that's not the case. And they've been cherry picking my stuff and don't want to give me any kind of credit. You know, I got people coming over here thinking that they're playing me out, but they're stealing my content. They're stealing my ideas. But it is what it is. I mean, YouTube's full of people like that. That's what it's about. So that's something that we have to deal with, right? Anyway, so you've heard me say this before, that black women are the most spiritually connected to the Creator. Black women are the most spiritual people on this earth. You will find nobody on this earth more spiritually inclined than the black woman because she is the closest to the Creator. She uses one of the Creator's divine powers. She brings life into this world. That is a divine power of the Creator. You understand? So, or one of the divine powers of the Creator. And so, with that being said, both the righteous and the unrighteous of black men know this, right? It is the unrighteous of the black men that choose to exploit this to their own personal and pathetic and perverted. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay, it is the unrighteous of the black men who choose to exploit this to their own perverted benefit. Now, the Hebrew Misraelites, they use scripture to lure black women in. They use the spiritual part of the scripture to get the attention of the black woman. Now, they have no intention on loving black women. They just want black women as sex slaves. They even want certain young black girls as sex slaves. They don't want women to have any rights whatsoever. They just want women there for the purposes of sex. That's it. That's all they want the woman for. They don't want the woman for anything else. Just sex. Now, here's another thing. They always seem to be going back in time, trying to turn the clock back to a time where they didn't even exist. But they want you, as a black woman, to go back into that time and behave like the women of that time, where everything was different back then. The laws were different, the food was different, the social atmosphere was different, everything was different. As a matter of fact, there was nothing back then that symbolized what's going on today. There are two completely different times lived by two completely different types of black people, or several different types of black people. We are not from those times. We do not share those customs. We do not belong in that era. That's not where we come from. And we keep getting caught up in symbolism. We have to stop thinking that every black person is kin to us. Every black person isn't kin to us. We have to start taking a stand in reality and start understanding that we as black people, we stand alone. We stand as the black people who we are today. That's who we stand as. We don't stand as a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, a Hebrew Israelite from way back then, an Israelite. We don't stand as an Israelite. And all of this shit about, you know, Ham and all of these things going on, we stand as the black people we are today. And we go back as far as our bloodline will allow us to go back. And if you trace bloodlines, our bloodlines do not go back to any Israelites. It doesn't go back to anything going on in Israel. It doesn't go back to anything going on in Kemet. And you see, you believe this stuff, right? Because the worthless Negroes who created these factions and then read all of these books and misinterpret everything that they read, they got your attention. You see, because as a black woman, you're not used to seeing your man in power. So when you see your man grouped together, all adorned in black and wearing scarves and wearing metal kilts and shit, looking like fucking big ass sissies, you think that's a symbol of power. And so that tells you that you should listen to these men. And they're standing there with a book. Understand something. They're not standing there with a tool belt ready to build something. They're not standing there with a group of men with tools ready to go out and get something done, ready to build any infrastructure. They're not standing there with anything that's going to make black people advance. They're standing there with a book of fairy tales that they use to confuse the black woman in order to enslave her. Before I go on, I'm frozen. Dan, come here for a second. Dan,
All right, I'm here.
I'll be right back. I'm frozen.
Yeah, yeah. As I was saying that taking advantage of black women's spirituality, thinking that because they well read, that they know, or they read the Bible, or they study the Bible, that they know what they're talking about. Um, yes, and not knowing that they're trying to enslave you. They're not seeing you as a partner. You just one of many to serve them.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
All right.
Shout out,
Thank you.
shout out to everybody in the chat. Mika, truth is. Okay, now, thanks. Then you can go back on mute. Now, and so the black woman isn't used to seeing her men in power. She's used to seeing her men bend at the knee, grovel around, being dominated, not doing anything, right? So when she come across some burly black men with beards, looking physically strong, wearing these goddamn costumes, like they come out of the Punic Wars, and they're supposed to be spewing knowledge out of some book that they really had nothing to do with. She think that that's power. She see black men standing on the corner barking at the white man dressed like clowns. She perceived that as power. So she's drawn to these men because, again, she's not used to seeing black men in power. This is some kind of symbol of power. Well, you know what? These are black men who are telling the white man to his face that he's the devil. So these black men must have some kind of power. They seem to be unafraid to say the things that they're saying in public in front of the white man. See, she doesn't know that that's all a gimmick. She doesn't know that many of these Hebrew-like camps are 5031Cs and that they are in cahoots with the white man. And they take the white man's money. Because you see, that Bible is the same thing that the white man used to enslave black people. And so now he has given that task to the Hebrew Misraelites. And so now they continue to enslave black people. That's why many of them are 50C13s. They get them white man's checks to enslave black people. That's why they stand up there looking like clowns, dressed out of days of the gladiator, like they just came out the Roman Colosseum. It's 2021, people. Why are you respecting these dudes who are out of touch with reality and dressed like clowns? They're in costumes, people. These aren't men of substance. These aren't men of integrity. These aren't men of honor. These are ruthless, dangerous, psychotic men who have no passion. I'm sorry, who have no compassion for black women and black children. Anytime you say that when a young black girl turns 12, that she's ripe to be gang raped and you're supposed to be a man of God, tells me that you are no man of God. You are no man of the Creator. Again, I said to you before, and you're going to hear people say this because they're going to tell you that they had some kind of epiphany. And I'm going to tell you that they got it from me. But the black woman is the most spiritually connected to the Creator. And both the righteous and the unrighteous of black men know this. But it is the unrighteous black men who seem to exploit this for their own perverted gain. 501c13 is a non-for-profit. Truth. It's a not-for-profit. So basically, the Hebrew Misraelites, they're churches. Okay, so, and they get money from the government. That's why they got white Hebrew Misraelites now. The same people that they were calling the devil. And so they use scripture to do the same thing that the white man did to enslave black people and to brainwash the minds of many, many black people. This is what the Hebrew Misraelites do now. And so they use scripture to touch the spiritual nature of the black woman, to trick her, to win her trust. Once they do that, then they trick her into coming into their fold, where they talk her into being a slave, a sex slave at that. They only... What's the problem, Dane?
Accident.
Exactly, they're phonies, Truth. And so they want black women to be sex slaves. Understand something. All of these black factions, right, who talk crazy against black women, they all want black women as sex slaves. That's what they all have in common. They all want black women to have no rights, to sexually protect her. They don't want the black woman sexually protected at all. They want to be able to rape the black woman at will and have no consequence. They want to be able to have sex with the black woman at will and have no confidence. They want the black woman's rights taken away so that she can't say no to sex. The Hebrew Misraelites advocate for this. And we're going to get some videos next, and we're going to expose these perverts for trying to push for a law that won't allow a black woman to say no to sex. They want to completely tear the rights away from a black woman. They don't want a black woman to be able to defend herself sexually at all. They don't want the black woman to be sexually protected at all. These so-called men of God with these big gruffy looking beards, wearing leotards, metal kilts, right, are nothing more than sexual deviants, perverts, and pedophiles. And for those who ain't, pedophiles, the rest of them are psychotic because they want to be able to beat the black woman, beat her to death, and have no repercussions and face no retribution. And now you have some black women who have totally brought into this system, and there is no getting through to them. They've completely brought into it. And I feel so sad because you can scare a woman to the point to where she will change her attitude permanently. And that's a sad thing. That some of these women have been secretly beaten and brutalized and scared out of their mind. To the point where they will not go against the men who did this to them, and they will defend these men to no end. So unfortunately, some of our sisters out there, they're beyond help. They're completely brainwashed. And then also what they do is they get you to believe in some fictional character called Yah. Okay, they don't put names on God. Yah, Yahweh, Yahweh ben Yahweh. You guys remember Yahweh ben Yahweh, the so-called man of God who had a cult down there in Miami? And one of the things that before he allowed you to get married in his cult, he had to have sex with your wife, and there was nothing you can do about it. What kind of fool are you to follow a man that tells you that he has to have sex with your wife and you believe it because you believe that he's holy? Oh, Yahweh ben Yahweh, he's God. God is sitting in front of you talking about, I need to have sex with your wife. How stupid are you? And these factions need to be exposed. You got dumb ignoramuses and imbeciles who are in these organizations. You see, if they weren't so dangerous towards black women, I would tell black women, right, to be happy that these imbeciles aren't in your life. But the problem is the people who are at the top of these organizations aren't imbeciles. They're very confident people. And they are intelligent people. Many of them are vegetarians. You see, truly evil people are very smart. And they know that it is important to make sure the mind is healthy. That's why many evil people at the top are vegetarians. And most of the people at the top of these organizations are very brainy. They know how to manipulate people. They're very smart. Now, the rest of their congregation is filled with a bunch of derelicts, miserable Negroes, pedophiles, perverts. And so you got fools who follow blindly and will allow some dude to have sex with his wife. Talking about, oh, that's divine. Let me tell you something. There's not one man walking on this earth that is divine. You know what divine is? Dan, come in here for a second.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Look up the word. Look up the word divine.
All right.
And tell us the definition.
Okay.
We're gonna see what divine truly means, y'all, and then we're gonna find out if there's any human being walking around here with that definition.
All right. You ready for it?
Drop it on us.
All right. All right. There's a bunch of them. Okay. First one up. Of, from, or like God, or a God.
Stop. Anybody see anybody walking around here with that description? I haven't. I haven't. Second definition.
Okay. Second definition. Devoted to God, sacred.
Okay. Now, I've seen some people running around here who claim that they're devoted to God. And I've seen some people who are devoted to God. Now, that I have seen. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Informal definition. Excellent, delightful.
Excellent, delightful. There are some people who are excellent. There are some people who are delightful. Now, does that sound like... Okay, give me the last definition.
Read. There's two of them.
Okay,
Is a
read them.
noun, a cleric, or a theologian. And the
Okay,
second one is providence or God.
providence or God. So
Ooh.
basically, huh?
Or there's some even more definitions.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Divine third person discovered by guesswork or intuition. There's another one, have supernatural or magical insight into future events. And the final one, discovered parentheses water by Dowson.
Okay, thank you. Now, when you look at all those definitions, especially the one with supernatural insight, you see, when you master the Bible and you're dealing with the people who are spiritually, historically, right, and symbolic, right, it's easy to paint yourself as a divine being, which is what Yahweh ben Yahweh did, right? So the people in his fold or flock believed that he was a god. They believed that he was divine, just like Jim Jones, right? The black people that follow him believed that he was God until he had them drinking poison Kool-Aid, right? See, there's always something wrong with these leaders. There's always some kind of sick, perverted, and twisted skeleton that falls out the closet. Okay, in Jim Jones' case, he was a murderer. He was a mass murderer. He killed people by poisoning them with Kool-Aid. Go figure that. A slave drink. A drink that was created by slaves. Kool-Aid. Poison them with it. Then you got Yahweh ben Yahweh, who had people go out and murder, who slept with men's wives, because from what I see about the Yahweh ben Yahweh organization, you could not get married in his organization unless he slept with your wife. What kind of fool does something like that? And so these Hebrew Misraelites are on the same level with the Nuwabians, right? When you had Dr. York molesting all of those girls, all those babies. And the fact that black people still support them tells you that there's something wrong with us. You see, we have to stop giving ourselves a pass. There's something wrong with many of us to where we keep accepting this kind of psychotic behavior because we're symbolic. Anybody can get a damn book and stand in front of you and go scootily wah wah, and you want some, yo, that's deep, yo. That brother was deep. Yo, do you have his book? Yo, I'm about to get it. And you go buy his book, right? You open it up, and the book says scootily wah 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 wah. Now you done really fell out in the street. Now you can't stop following the nigga. And now you fucked up and you don't realize it. And then this nigga feeding you bad information. Bad information. Telling you that everybody black in the world is your brother and sister. And that simply isn't true. And so when a real Negro come along and tell you, hey, that's not true. Oh man, you don't like black people. Man, what? You don't know what time it is. All black people are brothers and sisters. No, we are not. You need to grow up and become an adult when you look at the world and stop looking at the world through the eyes of a child. We are not all brothers and sisters simply because we are Negroes. We are not all related. We are not all kindred. We are not all connected. We do not all come from the same culture. Black people in Uganda have no kinship to me. Black people in Ireland have no kinship to me. Black people in Jamaica have no kindred to me. Black people in Haiti have no kindred to me. They are Haitians. I am an American-born black man with ties to Africa. My ancestry come out of Africa. If anybody I may be connected to, it would be a contingent of Africans. And even that contingent is limited. because our people only go back to particular tribes in Africa, not all tribes in Africa that we are connected to. Our people did not come from all tribes in Africa. They only came from a small contingent of tribes in Africa. You are not kindred to every African on the continent. Every African on the continent isn't your true brother or sister. You do not have connections to every African on the continent. You do have a connection to some Africans on the continent, but not all of them. Many Africans on the continent don't know you, never heard of you, never seen you, don't have anything to do with you, don't know you at all, never even heard of you. And so you find out that black people build the pyramids, right? And so what if, okay, check this out. What if the truth was this? We talked about the Sphinx, right? And I'm going to get some receipts to prove to y'all that the Sphinx are females. Okay? See, there's a difference between childish knowledge and adult knowledge. See, there's a difference between a child mind and an adult mind. A child mind believes anything you tell it and smiles at everything and thinks everything's funny and believes everybody's a brother and sister. An adult mind knows better. An adult mind has wisdom. Adult mind can understand changes and differences and growth and separators and dividers, and understand that we all may live in this world together, but we are not all connected. What if the pyramids was built by black women? Has anybody ever thought about that? No. You can't think about that, right? Because up until now, all your history about black people have been about black men. And you've been told about the women what black men who tell you this history want you to know. See, they want you to think of the woman as weak. They want you to think as the woman has always been in a. I'm sorry, hold on 1 second here. They want you to think that the woman has always been in a position of servitude. When you go back in history, especially in Egyptian history, the further you go back, the more you see female statues, the more you see black men worshiping black women. But this is a history that they want to keep hidden from you. Nobody wants to. You see, let me tell you something. Remember that movie, A Few Good Men, with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson? And one of the most famous lines out of that movie was, "You couldn't handle the truth." You can't handle the truth. A lot of you dudes ain't ready for no real truth. Because when real truth comes, you ain't going to believe it. You see, the further you go back, the more you see women in charge. That's why niggas don't really want to go back. And when they go back, they're very selective about what they go back and bring into the present. You can do your own research. The further you go back, the more you start to see women in charge. The more you start to see men in a position of servitude. The more you start to see women being worshipped, the further you go back. There's a reason why these niggas go back to a certain time and don't want to go beyond that. Because they don't want you to know the truth. There was only one nigga that had the guts to speak the truth about the throne of life. But you guys ain't ready for that. Y'all on this bullshit. Damn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm frozen again. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So uh, that true. Yeah. You got these guys saying the black women are God, but they don't really believe that. They wouldn't do the things they do if they honestly believed that. So they align with the truth. So they don't want to believe that the women, when historical facts show that the first deity.
Okay. Can y'all hear me? Type of one in the chat if y'all can hear me.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me, Dane?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm back, y'all. Okay, so let me continue. They go back on mute. You see, what they don't want you to know is, right, that they don't want you to see men in a position of servitude, worshiping goddesses like Isis, more deities like Baal. You know, it goes back further and further, right? And here's another thing. We have to stop being mesmerized by Africa. You see, our symbolic nature allows us to readily believe in false narratives. Because somebody has African blood running through their veins doesn't mean it's the same African blood running through ours. I don't know how to get you to understand. Just because African blood runs through the veins doesn't mean that they are kindred to us. Some black people have Arab blood running through their veins. Does it mean that the rest of us are connected to Arabs? Some black people have different types of blood running through their veins. Some black people got white blood running through their veins. Some people got Asian blood. Some black people got Asian blood running through their veins. Does it mean that we're connected to the Asians? I don't think so. As soon as we hear the word African, we believe that we are tied to everybody, and that simply is not the case. Just like there are different tribes, there are different groups of black people, different groups of Africans tied to different groups of black people. You can get a group of black people here who have Nigerian blood running through their veins, but are not connected to Ghanaians, or people from Togo, or people from Uganda. They have no kinship. Just because you have African blood running through your veins does not mean that you are connected to every African on the continent of Africa. And we're gonna back that up. We got some real authentic Africans. We're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna have a show on Team Black Star, African-based show, and we're gonna hit this on the head. So I'm sick and tired of black people thinking that because you have African blood running through your veins, that you are tied to every African. That is a misunderstanding. You are not connected to every African on the continent of Africa because you have African blood running through your veins. There are some white people who got African blood running through their veins too. There are some Italians who have African blood running through their veins. Are we connected to Italians? No. Are we connected to Dominicans? No, they are not our brothers. We have a problem. We have a serious problem. We are the only one that looks at life like a child. We think everybody is our friend because they look like us. We think everybody is our brother because they have our complexion. We think everybody is our brother because they have nappy hair, they have braids, they have locks. That is an immature, childish way to look at life. Nobody looks at life like that except us. Because we're being fed misinformation because people are exploiting the symbolic part of our mind. The part of our mind that embraces symbolism. And you have a lot of evil and unrighteous black men who know this. Remember, I told you, evil people are smart. I ain't never ran into no dumb evil person. Now you got a bunch of stupid people that do evil, but a truly evil person, I've never met a dumb one. They know what they're doing. They know how to exploit things. They know that you have a symbolic mind, and they use that to their benefit. They feed you all this symbolism through fake ass conscious knowledge. Books written by people who either never existed or died 50 million years ago. Feeding you philosophies that don't work for your society. But you read them blindly because you think they're black. And then you run around here and you start talking crazy, right? And you don't realize you're talking crazy. Then you create groups, crazy ass groups like the 5% Nation, who are absolutely worthless in nature, who are very unproductive and do nothing for black people. Think about this. We have all of these groups, right? We have the NOI, we have the 5% Nation, we have the conscious community, we have the Sissy Bims, we have the Hebrew Misraelites, we have the Manoqueers, we have the Red Pill guys, right? Think about all of these factions, all these super factions that we have, right? And all y'all, and many of y'all cool, y'all follow these factions, right? Like my man Kendall, you know? Me and Kendall always fighting, but that's my brother. He's younger than me. I respect Kendall. I don't like some of the shit he says because we're pretty much always fighting, but I ain't gonna never take his wrench. I ain't gonna never kick him out of here because that's my brother. One of these days, I'm hoping that me and him will agree on something. But every now and then, me and him kind of get into it every now and then. Because I don't agree with a lot of shit he says. He don't agree with some of the shit I say, or most of the shit I say. But that's my brother. Don't get it fucked up. If that man was in need, I would help him. Because we go back and forth in here, doesn't mean that he's my enemy. That's not what pro-black that's not what pro-black is about. Pro-black isn't about making black enemies. Now, Kendall have said some crazy shit, and it is what it is. I kind of still want to bother him about that sun, moon, and star stuff, but I'm gonna leave it alone for right now. But anyway, shout out to Kendall Rowland in the building. And so you follow these symbols, right? And you got all these super factions. But when you look at what's going on in reality, you open up your eyes. You read the newspapers, read the tea leaves. Look at what's coming across the airwaves. Look at your communities. Look at what Black people are doing in real time, in the real world, on the real stage. And then ask yourself, what do these factions do for Black people? And the answer will be absolutely nothing. They don't change anything. They don't improve anything. They don't help anyone. They do absolutely nothing but feed you a line of BS, symbolic BS, so you can get caught up and get mesmerized and go into your pocket and give them your hard-earned cash. And you make these people stars. Polite was made a star by mesmerized, brainwashed Black people who got caught up in this conscious nonsense. Sinetta is a rich man because of brainwashed Black people. Sinetta is the one that keeps telling you everybody Black is your brother and sister. Zion Lex is a charlatan and a weasel as well. He's no different than Polite. And a lot of them dudes in the conscious community, I've been popping this shit for a while now. You can go back to my old podcast and you'll hear me talking on this very podcast about pedophiles over there. They ain't coming here for a second.
Yes.
Have I not? You've been with me since the very beginning. Have I not been talking about pedophiles in the conscious community?
Yes.
Have I not been talking about rapists in the conscious community?
Yes.
Have I not been talking about sexual perverts in the conscious community? Hello?
Yes. Yes. You have been.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You go back on mute. I've been talking about this already. You can go back, search my archives of my earlier shows. I've been pointing these guys out. I've been telling people Polite and them were perverts. I've been telling you that Shaka Almost and all of them were gay dudes. And Zion Lex, these dudes are gay. Brother Jabari, gay dudes. And how Polite, Sinetta, Garfield, these guys were predators, sexual predators. Now that it comes out, I'm not shocked. I used to be in the conscious community. I was in the conscious community for a long time before I came over to this side of YouTube. Over there with the Lex Vortexes, the Solomons, the Zion Lexes, the Danielas, the Divine Prospects, the Sinettas, the Garfields, the Polites, the Captain Tazariaks. I've been over there. I was over there when Seti and Young Pharaoh came and laid out the whole Amon Ra squad. Well, Unc's an idiot anyway. I don't even know how he's the leader of anything. Unc is an idiot. Remember they laid out Unc and Gozi, all of them. Laid them all out. You got 9 people in your squad, 12 people in your squad, and one young man came and laid out your whole squad. Y'all supposed to be intellectuals. Well, Unc's an idiot, so I'm not even sure how anybody following him. The I'm a Raw Squad is a joke. But anyway, so I was over there when they was running that black woman is God business. See, they run that shit to tell women a feel good thing so they can trick them into being sexual slaves. Understand something. All of these factions, at the end of the day, they have the same thing in common. They all want black women as sexual slaves. They don't want the black woman to have any rights to defend herself and her sexual nature. They want to be able to have sex with impunity with the black woman, even if she does not want to. They want to be able to have sex with her against her will. Now, brothers, those of you who are upstanding brothers who are following these dudes, that's something you need to think about. Because you're following men that doesn't want the black woman to have any sexual protection from men. And don't want the black woman to be able to be defended. They don't even want any laws in marriage that will allow a black woman to say no to sex. They mad about that. You also, if you're a Hebrew Misraelite follower, you're also following guys who believe that at the age of 12, it's right for a girl to be gang raped. That's what you're following. So you see, you have to take some deep down stock of yourself. Okay? You have to decide. You're going to follow men who are sexual perverts, where the Hebrew Israelites don't want their women to wear panties or undergarments, even the little girls. They want them to walk around with no undergarments on. Why do you think they want that? You see, you have to sit back and want to see the truth. Many of you brothers don't want to see the truth. That's why you keep following these dudes. You don't want to see the truth. You want to believe in something so bad because you really don't have nothing to believe in because you don't believe in yourself. That's why you're following these dudes, believing everything they say and thinking that they're teaching you some real fucking knowledge. They ain't teaching you shit. You believe in them because you don't believe in yourself. And you're following these dudes. Now, what about the black men who followed Polite right into the time that he allegedly sexually forced himself on a 14-year-old girl? Is that what you're following? Oh, because there's plenty more where that came from. Trust me, Polite isn't the only one in the conscious community that is a sexual deviant pervert / pedophile. He's not the only one. The conscious community is full of them. Your boy Zion Lex is a saloon swinging door homosexual. So is Brother Jabari. And all them nasty niggas over there do is talk about sexual perversions when it comes down to Kemet. And don't get me started on that shit about how they created the human race. Have you ever heard Kemetics talk about how the human race was created? It will turn your stomach. It will turn your stomach. Let's turn some stomachs, shall we? According to them, the god Haru, whatever the hell his name is, because the Egyptians got so many damn gods, they got like a couple of hundred of them, gave himself fellatio and ejaculated into his own mouth and spit it out, and that became the human race. That's what they believe. Then your Kemetic peoples. Oh, don't take my word for it. You can go and find it on Black News 102. Just type in Black News 102, right? Comedics believe how human beings or the human race got started. You know, the God Haru, whatever his name is. There's plenty of podcasts on there where you got Brother Jabari debating with dudes about how the human race got started with the so-called God giving himself fellatio and spitting up after he ejaculated in his own mouth. That became the human race. Is that the most disgusting thing you've ever heard of? And you got black men following these dudes. You're following them. You're following them and you're not listening. Because if you were listening, right? If you were listening, you wouldn't be following them. If you were listening, you'd be standing against them. Yes. Okay. That is what they believe. Your Kemetics. And listen, and let's not even count the fact that Brother Jabari is delusional, right? Walking around here in 2021 talking about here Kemetic priests. That in itself is a joke. There are no Kemetic priests. There are no more bloodlines tied to anybody in Kemet. Nobody. And Kemet isn't even the real name. They call it Kemet. Black people made that up. The metaneta that they so-called deciphered has no vowels, people. Kemet is KMT. They put a vowel in there to spell Kemet. That's not even the original. They don't even know what the words mean. I'm sorry, they don't even know what the letters mean. And you know what's funny? You got idiots like Brother Reggie over there talking about they read the metaneta. How are you reading the metaneta and it has no vowels in it? How? Somebody explain that to me. And I'm not making this up. You can find several videos on Black News 102. Type in the metaneta being deciphered. And you will find all of these videos of these niggas claiming that they can read the metaneta, even though the metaneta has no damn vowels. So what does that fucking sound like? You got a bunch of goddamn letters together with no vowels. How do you read that? What do you do? Go ooh ja do 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 ba ba boo 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 ba do. What is that? How are you reading a so-called language that has no damn vowels? Hey, don't take my word for it. I don't know anything. Remember, I'm just an old fool who doesn't know how to articulate. Go look it up for yourself. Go look up if the metaneta has vowels. And you will see that there is no damn vowels in the metaneta. So if there's no vowels, how are you deciphering it? How are you reading it? What are you doing? Just spelling out the goddamn letters? Oh, this is KMT WYG. Well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. All right, well, it got to mean something. KMT WYG. What does that mean? I don't know. Well, what's the word? I don't know. You know, there's a fool over there named Baba Haru, right? A black dude who's an ex-cop who makes unks. He claims that he can decipher the metaneta, right? And he made a whole lot of money standing in front. I'm still trying to hunt down this video. I wish I had saved it. I'm hoping that somebody knows what I'm talking about when I tell you what he did, right? The motherfucker sat up there in front of a whole bunch of black people who paid to come see this bullshit. This is exactly what he did. He said he was the metanetta in front of him. This is what he said. Un. Aun at un. Aun at un. Now, mind you, there wasn't no goddamn U's or Y's, but he going which is a U. Un. There were no goddamn U's, people. But he's going un. And then the confident look on his face, like he really knew what the fuck he was talking about. And you know what black people did? Wow, that was amazing. Wow, my brother. He breaking down the language of our ancestors. What? How the hell on. First of all, there was no goddamn U's from what he was reciting. There was a bunch of K's, T's, M's. A lot of the metanetta, the letter T is repeated a lot. The letter K is repeated a lot. The letter M is repeated a lot. You rarely see a U anywhere. So this motherfucker sitting up there in front of a whole bunch of people who paid to go see him. On. Well, hey, dude, what does that mean? Well, it means that one of our ancestors got hungry one day and decided to go to McDonald's for a Happy Meal. Wow, really? Back then they had a McDonald's? But yeah, it wasn't it was a healthy McDonald's. It wasn't the McDonald's that you see now. See, this is a white man's McDonald's. That was a black man's McDonald's back then. You understand what I'm saying? They served lamb Macs. Okay? Now you got the Lamb Mac that has evolved, stolen by the white man, turned into a Big Mac. But back then they sold Lamb Macs. 2 all lamb patties with cheese, goat cheese, and special sauce. On a pita bread bun. On. Well, what does that mean? Well, one of the brothers was riding his car back then and ran out of gas and called one of his brothers to come bring him some gas. They had cars back then? Well, see, the black man car was different. See, the white man's car is a steelification, a stolification of the original black man's car. See, the original black man's car ran off of electricity and prayers. So when you ran out of gas, it means that you was tired of praying. So when you was praying, the car moved. And so when you was tired of praying, it ran out of gas. The prayer was the gas. So you had to call your brother to come up and pray for you so the car would start up again. And the steelification that the white man made from the black man's car was that he took the whole concept of the car and put an engine in it. The car used to be holy and spiritual. So the steelification and the stolification was the concept and took the spirituality out of it and put a demon inside, which is called the engine. On. And let me tell you something. That nigga is revered in the conscious community. This nigga don't know what the fuck he talking about. Don't know shit about no metanetta. Ain't recited shit. Got a gimmick and a half. And Negroes think that he's the fucking next thing to Jesus Christ. That nigga is revered in the conscious community. And I'm shocked that brothers like Dr. Phil Valentine even associate themselves with such a nigga. I got so much respect for Dr. Phil. You guys ever seen Dr. Phil Valentine? That brother's knowledge is insane. His knowledge of the universe and how things work is ridiculous. He used to go on shows. He don't go on shows anymore. Because he realized that people are crazy. Niggas are crazy. He used to show up in the conscious community. He stopped doing it because he realized that the conscious community was fucked up. But that brother's knowledge, yeah, y'all need to check that brother out, Dr. Phil Valentine. His knowledge is insane, man. You get to listen to that. You can listen to that brother for hours without realizing you don't listen to him for 8 hours already. The things he know about energy, blood, the womb, the consciousness of a man, the woman, the universe, the energy, it's just insane. But he stopped doing shows. He don't even mess with people no more because a lot of people only got like personal agendas and they just want fucking money. He's truly a teacher. Seriously, he's the one I study metaphysics with. A woman came to him one time who was told that she couldn't have babies. And because of his knowledge of being a metaphysician and understanding the body to the degree, he came up with a formula of herbs for her body and corrected the problem, and the woman was able to give birth. That's how smart this brother is, man. White doctors had told her that her problem was permanent and she couldn't have any children. She came to this brother, and within a couple of months, her problem was rectified, and she gave birth to her first child. That's how highly intelligent this brother is. I've never seen someone with a deep understanding of black anatomy and black biology in my life. But like I said, he don't come on shows no more. You can't even get over. He don't even want to have. He don't even want to have nothing to do with a lot of black people no more because a lot of black people are phony. He used to be in the conscious community. He used to teach in the conscious community. He left the conscious community because he see what corruption was in the conscious community, so he left. He didn't want to be associated with that. But anyway, I got sidetracked. So the Hebrew Misraelites, people, are a danger to black women and children. They use the Bible to trick and enslave black women. At the end of the day, it is all about having the black woman as a sex slave. Same thing it was with the Nuwabians, right? And Dr. York, they said he was God. You notice how every time black dudes reach this so-called God level, that they end up with pedophilia charges? I mean, how childish are you, right? That when you finally get some power, the only thing you want to do is fuck. How immature is that? And then you get in trouble fucking. You end up in jail for the rest of your life. Because you think you God, you think you can have sex with any age girl. Think about that for a second, y'all. Every time the so-called black men reach an earthly status of God, you end up in jail. I ain't talking about these fake ass, the black man is God with this fucking cipher of the day and mathematics of the day dumb shit. That's trifling stupidity. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about these dudes like Yahweh ben Yahweh, who reached that earthly deity status as God, end up in jail. Well, I think he might be dead now. Dr. York, Malachi Z. York, who reached that earthly deity status as God, in jail for the rest of his life. Polite, approaching that status, already on his way to jail. You guys don't see a pattern here? You're gonna tell me you're gonna reach that kind of earthly status to where you can command black people to get them to do things, and all you can think about is fucking? How immature is that? So all of these guys and all their so-called knowledge, right, certainly didn't do a damn thing for an immaturity level, now did it? 40, 50, 60 years old, thinks like a child, thinks like an adolescent or a teenage boy with out of control hormones, out of control testosterone. You're 60 years old, you got all this power, and all you want to do is hump. You can't think of nothing else to do. You can't think of having the power to have black people come together and build infrastructure, improve our schools, get our own school system. I can think of a lot of other things you can do with that power other than hump something. But I noticed that every time one of these dudes have reached the earthly status of deity, they have either died or locked up for the rest of their life. And the ones who are locked up are most likely accused of rape and child molestation. Dr. York was a monster. And these guys, when they get this power, you see, the woman is the key, y'all. Because the woman is a goddess. I told you, the further you go back in time, don't take my word for it. Do your research. Go back in time. Start going back past the Nile. Before they was building the pyramids, start going back, and you'll see the further you go back, the more you're going to see women and power and men in the position of servant, especially in Africa. And I want you to see that. And some of you are so brainwashed, right? So hardcore brainwashed that even if you were shown the truth, even if you were shown the truth, you still wouldn't believe it. Because you're brainwashed. And you're caught up in that situation that a man's supposed to be in charge. Well, what if he's not supposed to be in charge? What if the man's position is to serve? What if that's our rightful position? To be a protector and to serve. Many brothers believe that the throne is the lap of a woman. And that men are here to protect and serve the throne. Why not? Meaning you say you serve God because you think God is a man. But what if God is a woman? Would you still serve God? Probably not. Meaning you hate women, right? Now you won't even allow yourself to even think about the possibilities that even though that there's a lot of evidence out here that tells you that life comes from feminine energy, not male energy. The universe has nothing but feminine energy in it. Now, even if you see signs, right, that the creator is not a male, I want you to think about something too before I finish my rant. Think about how God is in the Bible, right? I want you to think about something. Say, the God of the Bible is a jealous God. Does that sound like a woman? The God of the Bible wants you to worship no other gods. The key phrase, no other gods. Doesn't that sound like a woman? When a woman is in your life, what she wants to be? The only woman in your life. She don't want you messing with no other women. The God of the Bible is a jealous God and wants you worshiping no other gods. Gods Are there any other gods that we know of? Egypt is full of them. Egypt got so many gods, right, that the names are starting to start all over again. But God said that there shall have no other gods before him. That don't sound like a woman to you? The God, I say one more time, the God in the Bible is a jealous God. That don't sound like a woman to you? And the God in the Bible is a forgiving God. That don't sound like a woman to you? Men aren't forgiving. Men are warmongers. Most men are killers and warmongers. Forgiveness? Are you crazy? If that was the case, there wouldn't be so many people who died from war if men were so forgiving. Men ain't on it like that. We don't have a forgiving nature. Women do though. I'm just saying, I'm just pointing some things out. Things that are right in your face that you don't pay attention to, right? Because you've been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed to believe that female tendencies, right, in this case, can be connected to a man, and it's okay. The God in the Bible is a jealous God. The God in the Bible is a forgiving God. The God in the Bible doesn't want you to worship no other gods but him. That sounds like a female to me. I'm just saying. And so, in closing, I want to say that these Hebrew Misraelites, well, actually, jealousy is not a human trait. Because when you go back and you study gods, most of the gods did get jealous. Most of the gods also hated. The God in the Bible doesn't love everybody, but everybody thinks that the God in the Bible loves everybody, and he doesn't. Okay? The God in the Bible actually hates some people. He tell you straight that Jacob, who he loved, right? But Esau, he hated. Exactly. Exactly, truth is. Oh yeah, Mika, we're gonna be coming pretty soon. We're gonna be coming hard with the herbal stuff. Once we get the Team Black Star show together, we're gonna start giving y'all some real power on these herbs. But we got to be careful. We don't want to get the the channel stuff. Right. Right. But you know what? I agree with both of you, right? Kendall and Blackbridge. But you got black people who have been brainwashed into worshiping others. Now, the more you go back in history, and you'll see that I'm right. Go and research history. The more you go back, the more you're going to see the presence of Isis. And her presence is going to start dominating. Then you're going to see Baal, and you're going to see other goddesses, and you're going to see men in positions of servitude. Not slavery though. They just found the temple in the Grand Canyon. You guys know what that temple is? They got the Grand Canyon closed off. They found the temple of Isis in the Grand Canyon. And it's a huge temple. And they're excavating it as we speak. Temple of Isis is in the Grand Canyon, y'all. People don't want you to see the true history. You think that this planet only has a history of men? You're sadly mistaken. Women have a history on this planet as well. For some reason, they don't want you to know their history. They just want you to know the male history. Although the female history, they pretty much wiped out or won't tell you or have hidden. Just like Carthage, right? One of the most mightiest and most advanced military societies known to man, which was created by a black woman. Nobody wants to talk about that. And that society gave birth to the greatest general on earth, Hannibal Barca. But people don't want to talk about that. And how the Carthaginian army was so advanced, they were unbeatable. They were unbeatable. And they also had the first weapon of mass destruction. They were insanely advanced. When Hannibal first took his army into battle against the Romans, he defeated 80,000 men with 60,000. Then he defeated 80,000 with 30,000. You know why? Because they had advanced tactics. They had special forces. They had mercenaries and special forces. They were advanced. This came out of a society created by a black woman. For some reason, all the historians in Africa keep skipping over Carthage. They'll tell you about Libya. Well, they won't even tell you about that. They'll tell you about Egypt all day long and Kemet. And they don't even have that right. Because the Sphinxes and all those statues, those are all females. That's why the nose was removed. The nose wasn't removed because it was a black man's nose. It was removed because it was the nose of a female. Think about something. Look at the goddamn Sphinx. It's wearing makeup. Something that common right in front of you, and you still can't see it because you've been blind and misguided with bad information. The damn Sphinx is wearing makeup. The beautification of the face, the beautification of the eyes is a female attribute, not a male attribute. The beautification of one's face, such as paintings of the eyelids and eyelashes, is a female attribute, not a male attribute. That is why the nose was knocked off of the Sphinx. If you notice, when the nose is missing, it is a narrow nose, not a wide nose. It is a narrow nose because that is the face of a female. See, what they don't want you to know is that if there was a woman, if the first person, and I'll say this in closing, and some of you are too brainwashed and won't listen to nothing I'm saying and won't even go back and try to think about it. And some of you may think about it. But let me ask you this. Smoke this over, riddle this. If the first person on this earth was a black woman, then why can't you believe that at one point, the first rulers of this planet were black women? And with that being said, I'm at the end of my rant. And as always, let me bring in my partner in crime, the very lovable and charming, everybody's auntie, Miss Dame Frankie. Give her a hand, y'all. Yay!
Okay. All right. All right.
Drop the
Okay.
Gangsta link, y'all.
All right. All right. Well, you got some people thinking about that. Ooh, I never heard
Oh,
that
let me.
before. Uh,
Oh, wait a minute. Let me apologize to uh, Yvette W. Yvette W. I'm sorry you got timed out. That wasn't me. YouTube has been messing with us pretty bad, and sometimes they snatch riches and they time people out that we had nothing to do with. So if you got timed out about my name, I apologize. That wasn't me. That was YouTube doing that. Um, you know, we have problems with that. Okay, I would never time you out, Yvette. So any of y'all, I would never time you out. Kendall, Truth, Mika, me and Dane would never do that. So if you see that happen, that's YouTube doing that. That's not us. Okay, they've been screwing with us for a while. They've been taking people wrenches. Okay, Dane told me you got timed out. Then she said she didn't get timed out.
well, YouTube was telling me that Yvette was timed out for 5 minutes by the Ebony Star Network.
Yeah, so we would never do that to any of y'all. Okay, so if something strange like that happen, or you get your wrench taken, just let us know, and we'll get it back to you ASAP. Okay, and we can't do nothing about the timing out. We don't know how to combat that. All I can do is complain to YouTube about it. Okay, but they have done that to a few people. I have seen my name come alive in the chat and time people out, and I know it wasn't me. I didn't do it, and there's nobody else who had access to my account. So, and I didn't get hacked. Okay, I know how to protect myself from hackers. I'm a technical person, so I didn't get hacked. Yeah, so with that being said, okay, let me bring Dame in here. Like I was saying, y'all, if you can believe that the first person on earth was a black woman, now how is it that you can't believe that the first people who ruled this world were black women? I don't understand how that escapes people, but it does. Dame, come on in here.
Okay. It's weird. Okay. All right. I'm here.
Mhm. So give me your thoughts on everything.
Well, the instances that I never paid any mind to the beautification of the eyes of the Sphinx and stuff like that. But yeah,
Hmm.
that would be a feminine trait. You know, one of
Hmm.
men. They just they're gonna go into the history. Yeah, they wore eyeliner, but that was for practical purpose to the glare of the sun. There was no beautification of it. Just like I got it on there. Like the football players have those black marks underneath their eyes to protect their eyes from the glare. It was the
Hmm.
same thing for the men. But the women, they took it into an art form and beautified and called attention to their
Hmm.
eyes, and they developed eyeshadow and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yep.
Hmm. So
I just
if
don't
you
understand how I don't understand how people let that fly right over their head. The first woman, the first human on this earth was a black woman. Why wouldn't they be the first rulers?
yeah,
How is it that she's the first person on earth, but life started with Adam? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense.
yeah, and and shooks, if you want to get scientific about it, the oldest deities or images of a deity um, are Earth Mother or women. It's obvious that is a female, is a woman. Even if they didn't have all that detail, they had the body shape, and they
Yeah,
recognized that life came from women,
yeah,
and
that's
that
what I do
children were
too.
a gift.
Yeah, that's what I do too, Kendall. I encourage people to do your own research so you can come into the information and understanding of your own. Go back, study the history. Go back, as far as you can, you will start to see a change of events. You will start to see a changing of the guard.
Mm-hmm.
They just discovered a temple, a huge one, of ISIS in the Grand Canyon that they're excavating the hell out of. They've been excavating it now for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The Greek had Gaia, the Earth Mother, as the first being in its cosmology, so it's not too far fetched. Okay, truth is, I thought the Sphinx was supposed to be the statue of the goddess. I can't pronounce that, Max, or something. So it's Sekhmet. So, hmm I thought it might have been the goddess, cat goddess. Oh, let me see. Uh, I want to say Sabat, but I can't remember. It's like Baat, something like that, or Ba apostrophe At, something like that. So I was.
Sekhmet. God is Sekhmet. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Sekhmet. All of those statues are females. Female worship was so strong back then, even to the point where some men felt the highest honor of trying to imitate feminine beauty. Some people say this is the earliest stages of homosexuality. Came out of female worship. Where you had some men who would dress like the females as total obedience and servitude and worship for the female goddesses. A lot of people don't know that mostly all of the pharaohs were gay. Another thing that they don't know about the pharaohs, a lot of them were fat and nasty. See, they don't show you all of them, right? A lot of them were fat and nasty and were bloated and were constipated and had sex with dogs. Many of those pharaohs, when they died, they were buried with like 20 or 30 dogs. Because a lot of those dogs were their lovers. And some of them were so fat, nasty, and constipated that they had servants that had real skinny arms and fists. So in order to clear out their constipation, they would ram their fist up their rectum so they can go to the bathroom. See, let me tell you something, man. We have a problem with real truth. A lot of people aren't ready to be honest. You say you want honesty, right? But there's a lot of responsibility that comes with saying that you want honesty. If you want honesty, then you have to be able to handle honesty. So if there were black people in Kemet at the time, who do you think those fat, nasty pharaohs were? Who do you think the pharaohs were who were sleeping with those dogs? See, everything is gravy and cool when you're looking at it from a symbolic nature, right? We were kings and queens, and we were the coolest of the cool. And we had a b-boy walk when we walked down the Nile. But you see, but when the truth come out, oh, that wasn't us. When the truth come out, that many of those pharaohs were lovers of dogs and readily had sex with dogs and had many of those dogs as their lovers, You don't have nothing to do with that. What happened to the cool B-boy walk now? You find out that many of those pharaohs, those black pharaohs, were disgusting, nasty, over bloated, and constantly constipated. I had to have somebody ram a fist up their rectum just so they can take a shit. Oh, wait a minute. But, oh, that wasn't our people. Wait a minute. Why not? See, let me tell you something. There's always an origin to everything, right? There's an origin to evil as well, right? So if we were the first people on the planet, this is what I mean by common sense, right? And how we are not ready for the real truth and how we just want to believe fairy tales and just want to believe the cool part about black people, right? You see, evil has an origin. When evil first hit this land, who do you think were the evil people first? We were the first people. So where did the evil come from? Who was affected by the evil first? We were. So who was truly evil first before the evil spread to everybody else? We were. But we don't want to deal with that. We have a problem accepting the truth about ourselves. Any truth about ourselves that we don't like, we see it as talking bad about black people. I don't want to talk bad about black people. I don't want to say this. I don't want to say that. Well, it's because you're not ready to handle the real truth. You just want a fairy tale. You just want a sugar-coated version of what black people are and what we were. That's all you're looking for. You're not interested in any real truth. Because there's always two sides to a coin. Damn, gauge your chat. What's going on in the chat?
Okay. All right. Let me see. There's talk about. Let's see. The homosexuality, the goddess. Let's see. Let's see. Since since I can't call in, irritated Jeannie spoke on the homosexuality in Europe, and they were shocked at the black women worship from black men.
Wait a minute, what?
Okay, black.
Okay, I think she fell off.
All right, me and this mute button is gonna have it out. All right, okay. Black and Bougie said, since I can't call in, she's talking about another YouTuber that spoke on the homosexuality in Europe, and they were shocked at the black woman worship from black men. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what that means.
Okay, when they came into Africa, because they were homosexual and they worship in men, and their deities are men, they were surprised when they came to Africa and found Africans worshiping black women and female deities.
Oh, that's yeah, but that's not uncommon for Africa. Like I said, when you do the research, this is what they don't want you to know. The further you go back, the more you're going to see men in positions of servitude and women in positions of power. They don't want you to know that. You can find that out on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think ISIS was? Why do you think nobody wants to talk about ISIS?
Mm-hmm.
You'll never hear these dudes talk about ISIS except in some passing phrase that she was the goddess to somebody, whatever. No. ISIS has her own story. Y'all should really, you know what? Maybe we should do a show on ISIS. Y'all should really dig into the story of ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see why these Negroes don't want nothing to do with ISIS. You'll see why women are conveniently left out of heaven. That's why I always trip about these dudes who are going to give up their life and kill people because they're going to get 7 virgins when they get to heaven. When heaven, they don't even talk about women even being in heaven. There ain't no female angels up there. They don't talk about no women in heaven. The only time they mention women in heaven is in Greek mythology. And I think it's only like 1 or 2 of them. The goddess of love and who else? That's about it. I don't know where these 7 virgins are coming from. They must be talking about a different heaven. You know, these people are fanatical. They believe all kinds of quirky things. You got to beware of listen, ladies, beware of a man that just blindly believes other men. Beware of men that are attached to factions and become fanatical in the ideology and the belief of those factions. Like, you got to be a fool to follow the 5% nation.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be a damn fool. You got to be a fool to follow any of these factions. But you see, that's what happens when you don't have any power, right? You're trying to find power elsewhere, even if you have to make some shit up. That's what happens when you have no power. You start creating these factions to give you a false sense of power, making you think that you're in charge of something, making you think that you have some kind of power over this and power over that, power over the women, and you don't. Like I said, the Hebrew Misraelites, they want to turn back the clock to a time where they didn't even exist. And they want the black women today to behave like the women in those times. This in itself is psychotic. Yeah, Aphrodite. Yeah, Rakim was all into that Greek shit and Egypt shit. You know, they into all of these gods. You know, a black man walking around calling himself God. I mean, come on, man. Be realistic, y'all. Use your common sense. You got a black man walking around here calling himself God. It's no different than a dude who's born a man walking around here thinking he a female. It's crazy on that kind of level. And you think about it, right? If you call a black man a god, it does nothing to him. It does nothing for him. He doesn't change. Like if a black man is a pedophile, if you call him a god, he's still a pedophile. It won't do nothing for him. If a black man is a deadbeat and you call him a god, he'll stay a deadbeat. If a black man is a womanizer and you call him a god, he'll continue to womanize women. If a black man is a deadbeat dad and you call him a god, he'll still be a deadbeat dad. He won't change. So the term God, when you associate it with a black man, absolutely does nothing. Oh, he'll receive it and he'll give a head bob talking about, yeah, queen. And that's probably the only time he would call you queen if you call him a god. But it don't mean anything. It's just an empty comment. It means nothing. He doesn't walk like a god, carry himself like a god. He doesn't think like a god. If you call him a god, he will continue to think the same way he's always been thinking. If he's out of work and you call him a god, he'll just say, yeah, what's up, queen? And still continue to be out of work. It won't change anything. It won't change his way of thinking. It won't change his behavior. It won't change anything. If he is a bum and you call him a god, he will continue to be a bum. He will not change. So you calling a black man a god is meaningless. It means nothing. So why call him one? And black women, you are complacent in this, calling some of these dudes kings and gods. When those terms mean absolutely nothing when you're talking about a black man. There's no black kings running around here. There are no black gods. There's no black men in any kingdoms around here. These niggas don't deserve the term king. You kidding me? King of what? Why should you call him a king? Because it makes him feel like he has some kind of power when he doesn't. It gives him a false sense of reality when he's not a king in reality, right? He's not a king. He don't own anything. He don't control shit. He has no kingdom. Most of these motherfuckers don't even have a job. So what is the purpose of calling them a king? What are you actually doing when you call them a king? You think that you are uplifting them? No. You're not doing anything for them. All you're doing is helping them believe in a delusion. A nigga runs around here who can't pay his bills, can't take care of himself, won't take care of his children, can't maintain his wife because he can't take care of her, but yet he done got into some faction that done hyped his head up with a bunch of bullshit, and now he walking around here thinking he a damn king with no kingdom, no resources, hasn't changed his mentality one bit. He's still an unproductive Negro, but yet somehow he thinks he's a king, even though a king doesn't fit any of his attributes or his behavior. But somehow he thinks he's a king. And if you're calling him one, you're just encouraging it. You're calling the man something he's not. And he's certainly no God. I don't know where you get that from either. These people aren't gods and kings. You kidding me? I mean, we can, you know what? I'm going to probably do a show on that. The show is going to be titled, Is the Black Man a God? Is the Black Man a King? Is he a God or a king? We're going to talk about that. We're going to find out if the black man is a God. And listen, I don't want no sorry shit, feeling sorry. That's what's wrong now because too many people are feeling sorry for Negroes. Negroes got to get up off their ass and move some mountains, shake some shit up, and kick some ass and take some names. This is not about being a goddamn baby and being coddled. But we're going to find out if black men are kings. We're going to find out if black men are gods. We're going to find out. People call Polite a god. I don't know what god walks around here and gets accused of sexual assault. What kind of god is that? We got to put this stuff in perspective. You're a god and you're a king, but you're getting brought up on pedophile charges. You're a god or you're a king, but you're upset with your paycheck. You didn't get the money you thought that you earned. I used to work with a guy named Rick, who was a 5%er, right? He always woke up every morning with that bullshit. What's up, God? I never responded. I just said, I never responded. I never called him one either. One day we was having a conversation because we used to work for this company called MCST, right? Over there in Jersey. They under new management now, some shit like that. So anyway, we used to work for them. I remember one time we was sitting in the yard, right, on the table just talking. And he was telling me about all these goddamn problems that the white man is causing, right? So I'm listening to him. He's telling me he's God. He's calling me a God. I'm sitting there with my hands folded like, okay. But he's telling me he's a God. So I asked him, I said, so what's your problem? Man, I didn't get my $15 on my paycheck. Man, they owe me $120. They owe me $75. Nigga, they owe me $30. Wow, okay, so what you gonna do about it? I need to go get my money. All right. Then he tells me the white man is evil and does all this and that. All right, so how you gonna, are you gonna do anything about it? Yeah, I'm changing it. Okay, how you changing it? I'm changing it with my thoughts in the universe. I'm sending my thoughts up to the universe right now so the universe can deal with this white man. That's what he told me. That's what he told me. And the next day I asked him, I said, well, how did that work out? Did you send your thoughts up and you communicated with the universe? Yeah. And the universe told me to be cool for right now. Why did the universe tell you to be cool for right now? Because the universe said that because I worked it out, there was no reason to cause any experiment. Okay. 5% of people. And the same, and the same dude was the one that told me about Yakub. And I later looked up this Yakub story and found it to be fascinatingly interesting and very funny. And I can't believe people believe in this crap. But this is a guy that told me that Yakub came out of something called the essence. Now, I don't know what the essence was, where it was. I have no idea. When he's telling me about this essence, I'm thinking about a woman's womb. So as I'm thinking about it, imagine me picturing this guy with this giant head that had 3 brains in it. Because Yakub has a big head with 3 brains in it. Okay? And so if the essence is a womb, that's a pretty big head to be popping out of the womb. Okay? So while he's telling me this story, I'm picturing a black dude with an evil goatee, right? With this big head with 3 brains in it, pop his head out of the womb, look around, and see that the black man was God and got upset and went back into the womb and created the white man. And brought the white man out of the womb and sicked him on the black man. So when he told me this, I'm sitting up there saying, hey, wait a minute, man, look. Not for nothing, dude, but y'all need to go back into the essence and kick Yakub's ass. But apparently the nigga got problems. You need to drag his punk ass out of the essence, bring him into reality, and tell him to come get this white man. Tell him to come get this animal he created. I don't know why y'all waiting around. Why y'all waiting? Somebody go into the essence, drag Yakub's ass out of the essence, and whoop his ass and make him come get this white man. But that's what he told me. That was the first time I heard the story of Yakub.
Oh my goodness. This is tripping up. Uh, uh, all right, yeah. I'm just laughing up in here with Max. Going to drag this guy out of his mama's vagina and kick his behind for creating this white man. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I froze up. And so that was the first time I heard the story of Yakub, Dane. That
Okay.
Yakub came out of the essence. Okay? He popped out of the essence, looked around. Hello?
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
I'm
We're
talking to
laughing,
you,
but we're
Dan.
here.
Dan, I'm talking to you. You got to be on mute. I'm talking back and forth with you.
Oh, okay.
But this is what he told me. He said Yakub came out of the essence. I don't know what the hell the essence is. All I'm thinking when he's talking to me, I'm thinking the essence is a womb. So I'm thinking this big-headed black dude with an evil goatee, with 3 brains in his head. I don't know if all of them were working when he made the white man. Maybe maybe the other 2 stopped working, or maybe all 3 of them stopped. I have no idea. But anyway, maybe he was drunk. But anyway, he peered his big head with his evil goatee out of the womb, the essence. Saw that the black man was God, got upset, and saw that the black man had no challenges, and went back into the essence and created the white man.
Mm-mm-mm.
What in the hell? And nobody went into the womb, nobody went into the essence to whoop his ass? It sounds to me like Yakub need his ass whooped. Somebody needs to go into the essence, find Yakub, and whoop his natural black big head 3-brained ass. Then drag him out of the essence and tell him come get this white man. Hey man, come get your dog, bro. But that was the first story. That was the first time I heard about Yakub through the 5%er. And I became so fascinated. I did mad research on Yakub, and I found a whole story that you wouldn't believe. And I'm going to do a show on Yakub. It's a very funny story. And if you believe in this stuff, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, man. You know, why was some black dude graft a white man? When you hear the story, the whole thing that got me was there was no rhyme or reason why he grafted the white man, other than the fact that the black man needed a challenge because the black man was God, according to Yakub. Now, who was Yakub at the time? Because apparently he had 3 brains, right? So he must have been smarter than the black man at the time, because the black man was God. Because if the black man was God, he would have stopped Yakub, right? But apparently he didn't know that Yakub was creating his opposition, which kind of makes me question of whether he was a god or not. But this is the kind of stuff, yeah.
Okay. Black and Bougie, our sister Melanated said, could you make sure we get a number because she for StreamYard, because she can't just get in. It's blocking her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Melanated Misfit. What's going on, Misfit? I gotta I don't know. I gotta figure out how to get a number for. Okay, we'll get a number and set it up and do a call in. I'm telling you the truth, Kendall Rowland. I'm not lying. I used to work with a 5%er named Rick, and that's what he told me, brother. I'm being honest about it. He told me that. That was the first time I heard of the story of Yaqub. That's what he told me, brother. Word for word. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's exactly what he told me.
Not to mention, probably not all 5% the same. You're looking at the chat. One woman is saying that she met a 5%. They had money. They were generous, but they were very controlling. And another woman says she met a 5%, met 5%ers, and they were always broke. So it's possible one of some 5%ers are not as well informed as others, or they're not doing, or they're not taking that knowledge and being active and using it to better themselves in their communities, and some are.
I ain't never met a 5% that wasn't crazy. Okay, and I came across a lot of them. They all crazy. The one dude was telling me, this one 5% was trying to tell me that the Garden of Eden was in Iraq.
What?
And that's why the Middle Eastern dudes keep fighting over Israel. Like what?
Wait a minute. If it's in Iraq, why would they be fighting over Israel?
Exactly.
See, uninformed.
I'm telling you, man, some of these dudes. Okay. Dame, go and meet. I just got a message from Abby. Edie Asari is over there. So get her to step down and deal with them. I'll hold you down up here, okay?
Okay. All right then.
All right. All right. So Dame has to go away for a meeting, y'all. Y'all rolling with me for right now. But yo, this is what I'm saying. I haven't met any 5%er that wasn't completely out of his mind or heading in that direction. Okay. And Kendall, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. That's what he told me. Not making it up. That's what he told me. He told me that Yaqub came out of the essence one day, or stuck his head out of the essence, that Yaqub had 3 brains. And he stuck his head out of the essence, looked around, and saw that the black man was God and that the black man had no challenges. And so he decided to go back into the essence and create the white man to challenge the black man who was God with no challenges. And I was asking him, well, why didn't somebody go back into the essence and punch his punk ass in the mouth and drag his ass back out here and tell him to come get this goddamn dog that he sicked on us? Well, we can't find him. Why not? You God. What do you mean you can't find him? Take your God ass into the essence and find this motherfucker. Because he out of his goddamn mind. Apparently they don't know where Yaqub is. Yeah, I went and I searched the real story of Yaqub, and I found some very interesting stuff, Mr. Kendall. I went and researched the whole story. I find it very interesting, especially how they kept coming to the surface, right? And having these grafted people mingle with other black people. It's a very, 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 very funny story. And so I don't know how true that is. If you want to say it's true, you can believe what you want to believe. But from what I read, now don't get me wrong, the story is very involved. It's a very interesting story, especially how he grafted them, right? How they kept having sex and kept getting lighter, generation after generation. First of all, Yaqub must have been, 50 billion years old, because the dude must have lived he lived for generations. Okay, he probably was immortal. So the story was very interesting. It was a good read. I'm telling you, it was a good read. It's a very funny story. Now it's up to you if you want to believe it. I don't believe it. But if you want to believe that, that's your prerogative. Exactly, truly. That's what Rick told me. Yakub was supposed to be this extremely intelligent black man who had a big head and three brains, and that they came from a race of people that had three brains. And I believe Yakub was actually considered a dumbass in his race. He was considered pretty much retarded, which probably which probably gives you the understanding of why he made Yakub, because he was retarded. Yakub was actually slow. Okay, when you read the story, you're going to find out that he is a part of a species of people that have three brains, and that he was actually slow and was deemed a dumbass by the rest of his people. So we have to stop getting caught up in shit like this, man. We have to stop getting caught up in these kind of stories. All right? We have to stop believing in stories like Yakub. Stop believing crazy people like the 5% Nation, the conscious community. You gotta stop believing this shit. Okay, I'm frozen and I can't get off because Dame is not here. If I get off and do a reset, it might kill the show. So I gotta stay frozen. Well, hopefully, okay. I think I became unfrozen. All right, let me gauge the chat. Yeah, yeah. You know, the whole thing about the Muslim thing, y'all know Farad Muhammad. Farad Muhammad was a white man. You ever heard Farrakhan talk about Master Farad Muhammad came out of nowhere and gave the black man knowledge? Well, Master Farad Muhammad was a white Arab. So white Arab. See, black people keep trying to cover people up. They keep trying to say that King James was black. He wasn't. King James was a white homosexual who was a homicidal maniac, who murdered his woman, who murdered his wife, and who was jealous of the Bible. Wasn't black, but they keep trying to tell you, you see, but Misraelites, King James was a black man. No, he wasn't. Farad Muhammad was a white Arab. He wasn't black. See, the problem is, instead of us doing our own research, we believe the people that's telling this to us because we are symbolically black. So if Farrakhan tells it to us, it must be true. We don't need to research who Farad Muhammad really was, or Noble Jew Ali, who was just as bad as Farad Muhammad. If you notice that these ideologies that are being taught, they work as long as the black men stay within those groups. And those groups don't go outside the group. So They don't help black people outside the group. Now, I don't know what the Nation of Islam does now, but in order for you to benefit from the Nation of Islam, you have to be in the Nation of Islam. Do they just go into the community and help black people? I don't know. I haven't seen the Muslims in the black community do anything but sell bean pies. I used to love them bean pies. Don't get me wrong. Them bean pies was the shit. I used to fuck them bean pies up. Hell, I miss them damn bean pies. I was trying to find me some shit, some of them last week. I saw some Muslim brothers. I was hoping they had bean pies with them. They had none. All I ever seen Muslims do in the community is sell this paper called the Final Call and sell bean pies. I've never seen them do anything else. Never. Now, I've seen them. I've seen them preach, but I've never seen. I never seen them do nothing. Now, somebody else got something that they know what I did in the community. Let me know. I'll be the first to say, "Hey, man, these guys did that in the community. I've never seen them do nothing." But like I said, I love them damn bean pies. I will fuck. Let me tell you something. I will stand by them bean pies, y'all. Them bean pies was the shit. Man, I was so hooked on them bean pies. I would find the nearest Muslim brother and I would go up and buy him out. Yo, give me all the bean pies you got. Them bean pies were so good, y'all. That all they had to do was just show up with them motherfuckers. They didn't even have to say nothing. Now, I wasn't big on them custard pies, but them bean pies, shit. Well, the game is out of commission, y'all. I got to go to work. So I don't have any access to the controls because James is my producer. She produces the show. I don't have any controls. So I'm going to have to bid y'all adieu. And in close, I want to say peace, power, unit, everybody. And yeah, listen, we're still working on the Black Star Show. And we're going to be talking about the herbalists. We're trying to work it out now to where we can have the master herbalist on the show live. Hold on one second. Yeah, so we can have the herbalist on the show live to where we're going to be talking about One second. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Yeah, man. Well, the so-called Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right, got his information from a white Arab named Farad Muhammad. See, this is what I mean, y'all, about not wanting to see the truth. Okay? And we get caught up on symbolism simply because we symbolize the people that we like, right? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. What's honorable about a man who had multiple wives and multiple children that he didn't take care of? What's so honorable about that? The fact that you call him honorable tells me that you know nothing about Elijah Muhammad. No, no, no. A master herbalist is a person that's a master of herbs, which is natural medicine that comes from the earth. Okay? And we're trying to work it out to where they'll be on the show live and they can tell you the type of herbs that heal the body and cure sicknesses and cure diseases. That's what we mean by master herbalists. You know, Dr. Sabi types. But these people are the real deal. You know, they wasn't, caught out there in propaganda like Dr. Sabi was. But these people can do everything Dr. Sabi can do and then some. You know, and I'm taking an herb right now called Rambutan, which is making me feel fantastic. So um, hold on, let me see if I can uh, freeze the chat. Let me see, my chat is frozen again. I can't really gauge the chat right now because mine is frozen. Let me see here. Nope, I can't even move it. And I don't want to. All right, I'm going to try to. Okay, listen. I'm going to try to reboot without ending the show. If it ends, let me say peace, power, and unity now. If the show ends, I would say peace, power, unity, and I'll let you guys know the time. So I'm not going to end the show. I'm going to try to go out and come back in. If the show ends, we'll holler at y'all another time. Peace, power, unity. So let me give it a shot. Oh, it worked. It didn't end the show. No, I can't. Like I said, I'm not in control of the controls. Melanie the Misfit. Dame is dealing with something right now, and I don't have the controls, so I can't drop the link. She's the producer of the show, so she has all of the power with her. And I'm about to shut it down anyway. Um, yeah, Master Herbalist Yvette is someone that can tell you about the herbs that you need to, heal your body or these sicknesses in your body. Like, for example, they tell you that diabetes can't be cured. Diabetes can be cured. It can be cured easily. Okay. There's a fruit that you can eat that'll kill diabetes. And they don't tell you, see, but you don't know. You don't have the knowledge. Okay. Did you guys know that charcoal can get rid of asthma? How many of y'all know that charcoal can get rid of asthma? Charcoal mixed with honey can get rid of asthma. I mean, get rid of it permanently. Charcoal mixed with honey. How many of y'all know about that? Yeah. See, there's a lot of information that you don't know. All right, dear truth is, go on to get that education, my brother. Yeah, so yeah, so like I said, the fact that you call Elijah Muhammad honorable tells me that you don't know anything about him. Because people who know his real history, they don't call him honorable. Those who choose those who choose to ignore the truth about him call him honorable. Same thing with Dr. York. You got people still calling Dr. York God, even though he's a pedophile, a convicted pedophile. So Kendall, so Yvette, did you hear what I said? And we're gonna now we got to be careful how we get this information out, so we don't get our channel struck. Because when you start giving out real information, they don't like that. So we got to be careful about how we get information out. So we're still working on what things we're going to say, and some things you guys are going to have to get from us behind the scenes. You know, like we can't really reveal to you on air all of the things that cure all kinds of diseases. Like one of the things that probably get us struck if we reveal to you that what actually cures cancer and what cures AIDS. That's something we have to give to you behind the scenes. I don't know, because she's in a session with the master herbalist who's treating her. Um, so there's no telling how long that session is going to last. And I'm getting ready to go because I got to get on the on in Black and Bougie. Do you not remember about Discord? A lot of y'all listen. Y'all can become members of our Discord. You ain't got to come in there every day. Y'all gonna always have access to us. Just become a member of the Discord. You ain't got to come in every day, but when y'all want to just hang out with us, you feel like hanging out with us one day, and we're not on the air, just come on in the Discord. We're always in our Discord, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Truth comes in, every now and again, but he's busy. Razi's still shoe shuffling. Hassan comes in. Kaya Grace comes in. Okay. Auntie, y'all got to become a member of our Discord. That way you'll always have access to us even when we're not on air. And we be in voice chat having some serious discussions too. Yeah, Ms. Lucky. Uh, okay, Yvette, what you got to do is, right, you got to unsubscribe, then resubscribe, and hit the notification, the all button, the one that's in gray, and then you'll start getting the notifications again. Yeah, we'll probably be back on later on tonight. But like I said, anybody who calls the Honorable Elijah Muhammad honorable does not know anything about him and don't know his real history. People who know the real Elijah Muhammad, they do not call him honorable. Like I said, it's the same thing with Dr. York. who's a convicted pedophile, you still got black people walking around here calling him God, calling him a man of God. They won't let it go. Yo, man, he was a man of God. No, he wasn't. Not molesting little girls, he wasn't. That's no man of God. Y'all need to stop throwing that around, calling guys men of God who are raping and molesting girls. Those aren't men of God. Keep calling these guys men of God. These ain't no men of God. And sisters, stay away from these Hebrew Misraelites. They just want the black woman to be a sex slave. Well, he did that, but he did that within the confines of the NOI. And those black men, the black community do not benefit from. The only people that benefit from those black men are the NOI and the NOI community. They don't benefit our community. Those same black men don't do nothing in the black community either. They only do stuff within the confines of the NOI. So if that's the case, then how good are they? And how useful are they to black people? If that's the case, why did he just teach black men that, period? Why does it have to be restricted? And let me tell you something, all the black men that they built is strictly for the NOI. Those men do not work in any black communities. She's not here right now. See, Kendall, we can have that conversation about he took tens of thousands of black men and did that. We can question that too, right? Those tens of thousands of black men, where are they? They're not in the black communities because the black communities around the NOI, they haven't gotten any better. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest headquarters of the NOI is sitting up there in Chicago. They still murdering each other like it's going out of style in Chicago. You don't see the NOI doing anything with their tens of thousands of black men with their heads screwed on right. So we have to question that. Did he take tens of thousands of black men for a selfish purpose and created a nation for himself? And the black men sustained that nation? Or did he create a nation of black men for black people? The answer is it isn't the latter. He didn't create a nation of black men for black people. He created a nation of black men to uphold the ideology and the belief of the Nation of Islam. And that's where those men reside. And that's where all the things that they taught, they benefit that nation. Those men don't step outside that nation and take what they've been taught and spread it throughout the black community, because the black communities in which these people reside in are still in shambles. Okay, then how come that hasn't come into fruition? If that's the case, how come the so-called tens of thousands of black men that he led, right? How come that's a benefit to the nation, but it's not a benefit to black people? And since we're not pandering to the government, how is that working out for us? And if Mr. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was so-called black, how come he's not just opening up his teachings to black men, period? Why do you have to be a member of the Nation of Islam. I tell you why. Because he doesn't want those teachings going outside of the Nation of Islam. They're trying to maintain their organization. That's why they pretty much forbid their teachings going outside of the nation, where many other young black men could benefit from, but they have to be a part of the nation. So you have to be so if you're forced to be a part of a nation, something that you may not want to be a part of, then how good is the information? Then how good is his leadership? He doesn't lead black people. He leads black men and women who are members of his so-called nation. That's who he leads. He's not a leader of black people. He's a leader of black men and women within his organization. Again, you guys get caught up in all this hype. The honorable this, the honorable that. Honorable, really? If that's the case, then how come the honor that this man's supposed to have is not spilling over into the black community, into these young boys who are out here murdering each other like animals? Since he took tens of thousands of black men, how come he can't just take tens of thousands of black men outside of the Nation of Islam and turn them around too? So how honorable is he? This is what I mean about how black people get caught up in symbolism. This man hasn't done anything for black people. He's only done something to secure the existence of his organization. That's all that they've done. That's all that they do. They only care about their organization. They don't care anything about the black community. They talk about the black community, but they don't care nothing about it, because the black community in which many of them reside in never changes. Farrakhan Semitic in Chicago. And you got black kids murdering each other at an alarming rate. How come we're not taking tens of thousands of these kids off the street and straightening them out? And again, Mr. Honorable, whatever his name is, Elijah Muhammad, got his teachings from a white Arab called Master Farad Muhammad. Again, with the symbolism, Master Farad Muhammad. See, with black people, all you got to do is have some grandiose, over-the-top name, and you got black people hooked. Master Farad Muhammad. Oh, that's the man right there. No, I'm not denying that. But within their organization, you see, you won't listen to what I'm saying. You want me to acknowledge what you're saying, right? Which I am. But you tend to evade what I'm saying to you. And you don't want to see the reality. He did that, but only within his organization. The community outside of that organization does not benefit from that. That's what you don't want to see. So you want them black people that want to say, oh, these black people are doing good, but don't give a damn about how many black people that they let die. Black people that they could save, but they won't. So you don't want to see that. He did do that. I'm acknowledging that he did that, but only in his organization. And those men were specifically built to sustain that organization. They weren't taught to save the black community. They was taught to maintain the existence of that organization. That's why they're built that way, for the benefit of that organization, not for the benefit of black people. And that's what you don't want to acknowledge. And that's why we'll never get anywhere as black people, because we don't want to see the truth. We rather believe in a fairy tale, and we'd rather believe in somebody with a name, a phony name, who so-called did some phony good. I agree. The brothers in the Nation of Islam are sharp. They do have their act together, but they only support the Nation of Islam. They don't support the black communities. You don't hear these niggas when they talking about the black community. They talk about themselves. They talk about what they're doing. They talk about the black community as why it's bad, and they solidify. Now, if everybody in the community converted to Islam, then you would have something. But in order for black people to benefit what the Nation of Islam has to offer, you have to convert to Islam and be a member of the NOI. Everybody ain't trying to do that. So if you're telling me that all you can do is teach black men for the purposes of sustaining your organization, then you don't care about black people. I know exactly what I'm saying, Kendall. You just don't want to listen. You just don't want to acknowledge what I'm saying to you. You just don't want to see the truth. Whatever they teach in the Nation of Islam, it benefits that organization. It doesn't benefit black people, because if it did, then the communities around them would not be in the conditions that they're in. This is what I mean by black people don't want to see the truth. Look at the communities around the Nation of Islam. They're riddled with gang violence. Kids are murdering each other. Oh, okay, Dame is back.
Hello.
Kids are murdering each other. They're going crazy over there in Chicago. Where's the NOI out there to stop it? Where's the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to get these young boys to take the guns off of each other? Where? It's not existent, because they don't care about black people unless black people are members of the nation. They've been asking for the link, Dane. Melanie Misfit wanted the link. Dane, drop the link. Dame, are you there?
Yeah, I just dropped the link in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Right,
Okay.
and so, exactly. This is what Kendall don't want to see. This is what I mean by these guys who are brainwashed and don't want to see the truth. No matter how much you put the truth in their face, no matter how much the truth hits them in the face, they don't want. Hey, thank you. You go on mute, please.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go on mute. No matter how much the truth hits them in the face. Look at all of these mosques. Look at where they're located. They're in crime-riddled areas, and you don't see the Nation of Islam doing anything about it. Where's all of this master teaching? Where's this teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that you said took tens of thousands of black men? Surely, if they took tens of thousands of black men and got them out of poverty, then why can't they do it to the black people that's in the community? They don't care. And that's the short answer. They don't give a damn about the black community. And it's very obvious that they don't. Muslim brothers don't really even want to associate with regular black people. There's Muslim brothers on here right now that don't want to associate with regular black people. If you're not another Nation of Islam member, they don't even want to talk to you, really. Okay, Dame. You better ask you a question.
Yeah, I was trying to type it out. Everything okay with my session with the herbalist. It's early stages yet. What what I'm the few things I'm experiencing is normal. It's okay. You know, yeah, yeah, that's to be expected. But it's still early stages. But good things, good things. You know, no, yeah, I just had some questions about sleep apnea and my CPAP and all that other stuff. hmm Yeah. So yeah, good. It was a good session. Um, Yvette, it was a good session. I'm sorry, Black and Bougie, that you left before we could get the StreamYard link in there. Okay, I never knew there was such an issue with StreamYard. I know that sometimes, like if we in Discord, we have to get completely out before we come into StreamYard because it doesn't share mic and session, and to StreamYard it's like you don't have a mic or a camera, so especially a mic. So it's like you don't have one to it. That's why I was saying you gotta probably get out of any apps that uses the mic, or if you have two or three tabs up and stuff like that, that means your mic is being used over these tabs of things. Okay, but we're gonna work on getting a number. Um, I don't know about StreamYard having a number, but I haven't checked into their Prime use and stuff like that. Okay, so what are y'all talking about? Let's see. What's this? Answer that already. Okay, so okay, next time I know better, drop down a invite when I'm gone. Um, Hi Miss Lucky. What what people do instead of letting us know where they got it from? Good info, good info. Why not say where
Oh,
you?
you way behind.
Oh, okay. Well, I just come in and I'd already
Yeah,
answered. Mm-hmm.
Me and Kendall was jousting back and forth.
Oh,
Um,
something new. I can't wait when Kendall comes up on the panel so y'all
well,
can.
one of these days, through all our jousting, either he's going to teach me something one day, or I'm going to teach him something. But one of us is going to teach each other something.
Yeah. Okay, get a Google burner number. Yeah, something right quick. A Google burner number.
Wait a minute, why she can't? Melanie the Misfit, it won't let you click on the link?
She clicks on the link, it just doesn't come all the way through. It's like it's telling her to give the mic and stuff permission, and I can't add her in until she's all the
Okay,
way.
okay. Are you trying to use your phone? Actually, she trying to use her phone.
Yeah, I think she was trying to use her phone.
Okay, if you try to use your phone, what you do is you go into settings and you go to the area where it says grant permissions, right? And in there you see StreamYards, right? Click allow, and that'll fix your problem. Go into your settings on your phone, go to where it says grant permissions, and look at the apps in there. One is going to be StreamYard. Click on the allow button to allow StreamYard to, to have permission to your mics and stuff. So what you got to do.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm gonna drop the link again so we could try again.
Yeah. The reason why it's happening is because StreamYard doesn't. I don't know something. I don't know if you reset your phone lately or you got a new phone or something. But StreamYard doesn't have permission. In order to give it permission, you can't give it permission on StreamYard itself. You actually have to go into the settings of your phone and go into the area where it says permissions and grant StreamYard permission. Again, nobody is denying that he saved the lives of black men, but he also let the lives of black men perish as well by not saving the black men around him. See, it's sort of a catch-22. You save the black men that only adhere to your ideology. That's no different than King James. And that's not an honorable man. You see, again, you guys don't know what honor is. You only save those who agree with your ideology. But those who are desperate around you, who need saving, you let perish because they don't follow your ideology. So if that's the case, then you're anti-black and you pro-Muslim. You pro-Islam. But you see, when you hit these people with this kind of rhetoric, they on some, how dare you say that about the illustrious, the illustrious, snuffleupagus, illustrious, magnificent, equivalent, benevolent, Elijah Muhammad. See, when you start to peel back the layers of honor and find out what honor really means, and then you connect the honor to the man's behavior, then all of a sudden it doesn't look so honorable. But again, Nagas don't want to hear that. Because when you don't have any power, you're desperate to believe in something or somebody, right? Sure, he saved lives of thousands of men who submitted to the ideology of Islam. Those are the men's lives he saved. But the many black men around him who could have used the same tutelage to live, he did not bother with, and let them fall into squalor and murder each other like animals. How black is that? How honorable is that? But according to you, he's honorable. And they haven't changed. They're still the same way today. If you're not in the Nation of Islam, they don't give a damn about you. Sure, they'll talk about you. No, King James was a real dude. He wasn't just a word in a book. But Elijah Muhammad is really no different than King James. King James only dealt with people who believed in him and followed his ways. Well, Elijah Muhammad the same way. He only dealt with people and only saved the lives of men that follow the ideology of Islam. I don't understand why this is so hard to understand. It's not rocket science, you know. It's not like this stuff is hidden. I mean, it's blatantly out there. The Nation of Islam only deals with black men who follow Islam in the nation. They don't just willy-nilly come out of the community and start saving black men. They don't do that. But I did like them bean pies, though. Now check this out. He saved lives of thousands of black men, right? And sent them same black men out into the community that surrounded them to exploit the people who lived in that community. Now, how's that for honor? He sent the same black men out in the community to make money off the troubled community that was surrounding the Nation of Islam. That's how they made their money, off of troubled black people. The Nation of Islam doesn't come to the aid of black people. They come to the aid of other Muslims. They don't come to the aid of black people. I tell you what, I bet you an Arab, right, can come over here and get the Nation of Islam's help before a black man can. How much you want to bet? Because they see them as brothers. They saw Muammar Gaddafi as a brother. Any Arab that come over here and come into the black community will have the full respect of the Nation of Islam. And a regular black man can't get that. And they will roll out the red carpet for their brothers from the Middle East. They will pray with their brothers. They will invite their brothers to the mosque, right? But won't do nothing for a regular black man. How about that? How does that work? See, you can come with this symbolic shit. I'm going to hit you with raw reality, my brother. Reality. I'm talking about reality. You're talking about symbol. Your shit is symbolic. Oh, the honorable line. What did he do to become honorable? And don't get me started on Malcolm X. We don't want to go there now, do we? The truth is, Elijah Muhammad was no different than any other tyrant who ruled with an iron fist. If you went against his ideology, you were silenced. If you had a thought that was outside of the Nation of Islam, you were silenced. And if you didn't remain silent, you were ousted, or worse, such in the case of Malcolm X. When Malcolm X found the truth out about the Nation of Islam, what did he do? He quickly separated himself from the Nation of Islam. So what does that tell you? See, these are the things that you don't want to see, Mr. Rowland. When Malcolm X took that pilgrimage to Mecca, his mind was blown, and he realized that he was being lied to. And when he came back, his mind was wide open and he changed. And he saw the Nation of Islam for what it really was. Just another cult with a ruthless leader that ruled with an iron fist. Now, I understand that you don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. Well, actually, Farrakhan is worse. Farrakhan is actually a sellout. Farrakhan out there calling white people brothers and sisters. Elijah Muhammad never did that. Farrakhan actually, and who was the one before Farrakhan? Wallace D. Muhammad? Wallace D. Muhammad, I think he was the ruler before Farrakhan came. I believe Farrakhan is his successor. Wallace D. Muhammad was born in the hardcore tradition of Elijah Muhammad. Then came Farrakhan. Yeah, when Brother Malcolm found out that he was lied to, and he came back, and he wanted to preach to all black people. With Farrakhan, let me tell you something. When Malcolm X went to Mecca, when he came back, guess what? When he came back pro-black. When he went to Mecca, he came back pro-black. And he left the Nation of Islam. And he wanted to help black people, period, because he felt that it was wrong to keep black men out of the loop and watch them perish in the street like dogs. He came back pro-black and started his own organization to help black men, period, whether they were in the nation or not. No, we don't need the scholarly version. We need the Spike Lee version, because the Spike Lee version is the real version. There is no scholarly version. And don't get me started on that word either. That's not even a black man's word. Again, you young brothers don't even know what you be talking about half the time. You don't even understand a lot of the words that you speak. Scholar or scholarly or scholarship ain't even a black man's word. The Spike Lee version is the actual truth. The scholarly version is a lie. That's why many of y'all walking around here now on some pseudo nonsense. I mean, I have to ask you a question. That sun, moon, and star thing, right? I need you to explain one thing about it. I need you to explain the sun. I can't get around the sun. Now, I might give you the stars and the moon, just for the hell of it. But I can't get around the sun. You got to do something about the sun. Explain that sun thing to me. How the hell did we exist before the sun without freezing to death? So when you get a chance, Kendall, I'm gonna need you to clean that up. I'm gonna act like I didn't hear the other two, because I'm gonna chalk it up to some 5% of nonsense. But I really need you to explain the sun, though. I can't get around the sun. How the hell did black people exist before the sun without freezing to death? And if they existed before the sun, where was they? Because clearly where there wasn't any light or no warmth, because there was no sun. Explain that to me. We ain't talking about the moon and the star. We're gonna leave that out. I'm acting like I didn't hear that. I need you to explain the sun, though. I need to hear an explanation on that, because I can't get my mind around. I can't get past that. I don't know how the hell you come up with that. I don't get that. And where did you get this knowledge from? And who told you that? And how did they know that? Where did that even come from? See, a lot of you brothers, man, y'all believe blindly because you're caught up in symbolism. You don't even question how people get this information. You don't think that you don't use common sense. How they tell you about things started in the beginning. How the hell do they know what started in the beginning? What language was spoke in the beginning? Like, for example, people said in the beginning, God said, let there be light. Who the hell knows that? And what language did he speak? Did he speak English? Did he say, let there be light? And who translated all of that? Where did that, if God was the only one in the beginning, right? It said in the beginning, there was God and there was the Word. And the Word was with God. The Word was God. And God said, let there be light. Who knows that? What person was there to witness this? What person was there to interpret what God was saying? Who translated who? Oh, don't get me started on that, Black and Bougie. We sharing the brain on that. They're scared of that. We just got finished talking about that. And how if the black woman was the first woman on earth, then why is it hard to believe that she would be the first one in power? Why we can't wrap our minds around that? See, Kendall, I'm debunking your pseudo library, which is common sense. I don't even have to use any brain power or think about anything. Just common sense is enough to send you flying, send you wailing. Common sense. I just need you to explain the sun thing. That's all I need right now. Forget about the moon. Forget about the stars. Just explain the sun. How the hell did we exist before the sun? And where did we exist at? Because it couldn't have been in space. Because if it was in space, without the sun, we would freeze to death. And if we existed before the sun, what the hell were we doing? So hopefully Kendall can explain some of the strange things he said the other day. I kind of give Kendall a pass because he's kind of between the conscious community and the 5% nation. You know, so I know how badly they mess up, black men. So I kind of not like hold it against them. Okay, Melody Misfit, when you do that, right, you have to reboot your phone too. So the changes it won't take a hold right away. You got to reboot your phone. You got to power your phone off and power it back on so the permission granted will take hold. This happened to me one time. I had to go and give. I had to manually go into my phone and give StreamYard permission to access my mic. Because when you give it permission, it's going to ask you. No, can't get a number. We're not set up to take numbers yet. I guess that's something we got to work on, Dan. We got to set up a call-in line. hmm Like I said, I don't know what's so hard to believe that if the black woman was the first being on earth, why would she be the first in power? That's don't make any damn sense. Yeah, I know about metaphysics, but the metaphysics don't tell me nothing about people existing before the sun. That's insane. No metaphysician is going to tell you that a human being existed before the sun. Now, if you want to talk about energy that existed before the sun, we can have that conversation. But that energy doesn't mean that that energy is human energy. So I need to know how. Now, if you're talking about a consciousness, right? The universe does has its own consciousness because it does things and it creates. But that consciousness is not a part of our consciousness. So if the universe consciousness, if that's what you're talking about, then I can believe that the universe consciousness existed before the stars because the universe consciousness created the stars and the sun and the planets, right? Is that what you're trying to say? That we are the universe consciousness? I'm surprised you would even know anything about that. But you said black people. I can't figure that one out. And Kendall, you ain't ready for no metaphysical conversation. You still running around here talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, um, and that black people were. You still caught up in all this symbolic information. One of these days, when you're done with symbolism and you ready to look into reality, then we can have a conversation. But right now, you're still symbolic and still talking crazy about people like saying crazy things like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We are all in the all is one. Hmm. Well, that's not true either. I understand where you're coming from with that, but that's not true either. When you say we, right? We who? Black people? First of all, you can't identify us, right? Outside of blackness. You don't know what we were. The only way that you can identify us now is because race is a white man's construct. And within that race, they call us black. That's your only identifier. You don't have any identifiers of us beyond blackness. So you don't know what the hell we were according to the text, according to what you're telling me. You're saying that we was the all and the all is one. We who? What were we before we were classified as black people? You don't know. No, I'm not making any assumptions. I'm just saying I think I know where you're coming from. But you don't know what black people were before they were called black people. You only know black people as an identifier now. But you don't know what we were before then. You really have no evidence or any understanding of that. And I could tell you've never done any real research on your own. You're just regurgitating what you've read or heard from somebody else, and they don't even know. Be careful who you listen to, who talk about the universe. You know, a lot of people make up real bold and strange things about the universe, things that they don't understand. Like I heard one dude say um, something about the stars every now and then come down to Earth in the middle of the night and make the vegetation grow 10 times faster. Something like that. People say the craziest things, the most wildest things I've ever heard. All right, y'all, we getting ready to get out of here. All right. I got to go. I got to get to work. Dame needs to take her nap. It was fun. Shout out to the Melody Misfit. Shout out to Kendall Rowland, my fighting partner. Always good to child switch you every now and then. One of these days, Kendall, either I'm going to teach you something or you're going to teach me something. It's going to happen one of these days. I don't know who's going to teach who, but one of us is going to teach the other something. But anyway, shout out to Hassan Burton, Yvette W., and all of the E-Nation supporters. We'll holler at y'all. We'll probably do something later on while I'm driving. We might do a conversation with Lady Dan because I'm going to be driving, so I won't be able to really participate that much. So, you know, she might come on with something later on. All right? So I like going on her show, too. All right? So, Dan, you got the music queued up?
Yes, I do.
All right, y'all. We're going to get on out of here. Thanks for, supporting. Peace, power, and unity. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We had a good, we had over 22 people in here today. Okay? We're getting there. We're growing, y'all. Thanks for all the support. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
Power and unity.
Power and unity.